I want to begin with a few statements that will protect your future. And the first statement I want to remind you of is this: if you face life casually, you will end up a casualty. You cannot face life casually. Secondly, there is no future for the unfaithful. If you are not faithful and committed, you will lose your future. And thirdly, life is a privilege, not a plague. Many people consider life to be such a difficult thing, but it's really a gift from God. It's a privilege to be given life, and we need to handle it very carefully. No position in life places us above counsel. It doesn't matter how high you go, how famous you become, how rich you think you are never above counsel. Everybody needs counsel. Another principle I've learned that helped me is this: that God positions us to influence others. He also positions us to change the course of events, and he positions us to protect his purpose. So one of the most important things you must do as a young person and as an adult is to discover your position in life. What were you born to do with your life? What is the position God had in mind for you? Another principle I want you to remember is this: bad environments destroy good destinies. Nothing can destroy your destiny faster than the wrong environment. And finally, a quality choice makes for a permanent change. The only way for you to change is for you to make a quality choice. That is not as easy as it looks, but it must be done. With that in mind, let me talk a little bit about time. Time is one of the greatest gifts God ever gave man. I thank God I live in time. The problem is God created time, he put us in it, but he doesn't live in it. God lives in eternity. But God put us in time because God wanted to protect us from eternity. If you lived in eternity, you would not survive. You got to prepare to live in eternity, because everything in eternity is forever. God took us out of eternity so we could enjoy the benefit of time. Time is defined, in my view, as an interruption in eternity. It's a piece of eternity God put out, and he put an end and a beginning to it, and then he put us in it. So eternity has no end nor a beginning, and God interrupted eternity and pulled out a piece of it and called it time. And then he put us in that spot, so we can experience an end and a beginning for everything. Time allows us, therefore, to live life in what I call seasons, and enables us to manage destiny in days. You don't have to live your life all at once. God allows you to live your life in days and in years and in months. We thank God for that privilege. Time provides opportunity to regulate choice and establish change. Another point that's important is that time allows us to divide our lives into three dimensions: past, present, and future. Thank God for these dimensions. In the past, I used to be a certain way. In the present, I am another way. In the future, I plan to be a different way. That's what time allows. Time allows us to divide our lives into three segments. And then finally, time is our guarantee that nothing on earth will last forever. But God has given us time so that we can have a beginning and an end. And there are things that you've been going through that time will always deal with. Your pain, your frustration, your disappointments have an end. The minute you were born, you got to quickly find out what you're supposed to do, because it's been given a certain time to be done. And you got to find it before you die. So the pressure and the burden is on you to find out your assignment, to do it within the time you're supposed to have it done before you die. That's the pressure. When you were born with your beginning and your end on the inside. You are a walking destiny. Therefore, a couple of thoughts come out of this. Number one, time was given for purpose to be fulfilled. Number two, you don't have forever to fulfill your purpose. There's a season for everything. And number three, your purpose is God's established end for your beginning. And number four, seasons are natural. And the changes that they bring their own inherent blessings. There's a season for everything, which means if you know that everything has a season for your life, then if you continue to study your seasons, everything works in your favor. When it's your season, even your enemies become your friends. When it's your season, people who didn't like you will start helping you and can't explain why. When it's your season, things that were so difficult become so easy. See, season has its own inherent blessings. That's because whatever you were born to do is already purposed. Let's talk about purpose and destiny very quickly. God handpicked you before you was conceived to fulfill something for him. He set your end before he started you. So you came into earth because there's something God already ended. You're supposed to begin. Your life is not an experiment. You are not a mistake. You are not a biological accident. There's something God already destined for you that made you come into this world. No failure can stop God's destiny for your life. Only you can stop it. God is not worried about your future. It's his past. Your future is God's past. Your destiny is established and finished. You were born to begin your end. Your end is finished, but you were born to begin it. Therefore, there's something God already finished that you were born to start. And the fact that you exist is proof that there's something already ended that you were born to start. You are at the beginning of your end right now. You are on the process of toward your end, and you have to stay on course. Even though God chose your destiny, you got to choose to choose it. Not because God gave you birth to do something great doesn't mean you're going to become great. You got to choose what he chose. Why? Because there's a problem with humanity. I call it a problem. It's really a challenge. And that is, your destiny is established, but it's not guaranteed. It's like me paying for my son and daughter to go to college. I pay their tuition, but whether they graduate is up to them, not me. So my destiny for them is already established, and I'm paying the tuition. I see that they have a degree at the end. I've already seen their end. So I send them to the school because I see their end. They are graduates. They have a degree. So I see their end. But will they make it? It's not up to me. God is the same way. God's already established your end, but whether you make it there is up to you. You and I have a challenge. And the challenge is, here's the challenge, because man possesses a will, you have to choose your chosen destiny. You are not an animal that lives on instinct. You live on decisions. And even though God has a good plan for your life, he knows what he wants for you. And God has some things he wants you to accomplish. Whether you will do it is not up to God. I tell you, your destiny is determined by your decisions. Your destiny decides your course in life. Once you know where you're supposed to go in life, if you know what your dream is to become, that decides your course. Wherever you want to end up determines the route you choose, the practices that you incubate in your own life, the habits that you develop. Your course is chosen by your destiny. Now, your choices determine your course. Your destiny decides your course, but then your choices determines the course that you are on. How many of you made plans last year? You made some resolutions. You got them on paper. You printed them up. They're in your computer. You got them on the wall and haven't done one of them. You know why? Because even though you set your course, you didn't make the choices that was in keeping with your course. Making a plan is no guarantee you're going to succeed. It's the choices that keeps you on the course that will determine your destiny. Here's a question. Do you know what course you are on? This statement is very, very frightening to me. We all know the course we are on. You know exactly where you're headed. If you're beginning to smoke, you know your course is cancer. If you just casually sipping your beer, you know if you don't change your course, you will end up being an alcoholic. If you keep going to work late and getting the boss mad, you know your future. In other words, we all know the course we are on. You got to make decisions to get on the course that is in keeping with your destiny in God. A lot of people just keep doing the same thing. They won't change their course. I wrote a plan when I was 13 years old for my life. I mean, I was a teenager, 13, and I wrote it on a dirty piece of paper. And everything I wrote on that paper, I'm doing still today. And that plan began to grow. It begins to expand. But you got to start somewhere. And it was that plan that kept me off drugs, kept me away from smoking, kept me from drinking, because I had a plan. God could then direct me. Don't ask God to guide you if you don't know where you want to go. You got to have a plan. My question is, why do you need to change your course? Here's some thoughts. First of all, I believe God designed and provides keys and laws to change and keep us on course. I'm sure they're built into God's plan. Number two, every new year allows us to review, renew, revise, and refocus our course. Don't let crisis make you change your course. Let your choices change your course. Decide, I'm going to be a better person. I'm going to be more spiritual. I'm going to stop wasting time. I'm going to use my time more effectively. I'm going to change the course of how I use my life. Somehow, we know the course we're on, but no one's telling us to be honest with ourselves.
Hey there, I hope you found this video inspiring and educative. Leave your comment down for me below if you do. I would also like you to support this channel by clicking the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up by clicking the like button below, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video I upload. Until next time, love you guys.